Jobs, people. Jobs. That is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? And when I mean by jobs, I don't mean real jobs. I mean fictional jobs. And I don't just mean something as simple as, yeah, you're going to be working at the general goods store at Whiterun. No. We're talking about terrible ones. I'm talking about jobs so terrible that, brother, you would be lucky if you get out of one full week, brother. You're talking about, well, the pay's decent, brother. You're not making it to the end of the pay period. Dude, I don't care if it's once a week. You might not even make it then. I don't care if it's like a gig thing and you're in like after one shift, boom, you made it. No, bro, you're just cooked. You're just done. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? We're going to be going through some of the worst jobs in fiction. And I'm going to be ranking them on how long am I going to survive this? Am I going to make my 2 full weeks? Am I going to get that succulent paycheck if they ever do pay me? Or am I immediately, when I hit the job floor, am I just going to get, like, Thanos snapped out of this reality like that? So I might as well hand my resignation in at that point, okay? We're going to be going over jobs, everything from an SCP D-Class personnel, a Helldiver in the world of Helldivers, to a Boys PR member from the Boys universe. That is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? And with all that out of the way, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 300,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and the only way that's possible is with the support of you guys. Hit the bell icon to stay notified. We try to do 6 uploads a week. That is the goal. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Let's go. Part of the Night's Watch. I'll just say this hot take, that job's not that bad. Literally is not. You mean to tell me, bro, it's you and a bunch of your homies go into this ice wall and you're looking at a whole lot of nothing for the majority of history, and then every once in a while you get hit with a group of people called the Wildlings. And worst case scenario, you have to face the White Walkers. That's the worst case scenario, bro. And here's the truth. All that being considered, the worst part about being part of the Night's Watch is unironically the stuff that you have to agree to get the job. Like, that never made sense to me. In, like, the world of Game of Thrones, why don't you just make go into the wall, like, something that you need to do? Like, hey, if you are military aged, you have to spend 2 years at the wall. You have to understand just how big the land of the North is. Why is it that, like, we're just going to send criminals there? Oh, yeah, and if you go there, you have to forego your rights to any lands. You have to be celibate the entire time you're up there. And I'm over here like, first off, bro, I'm sorry. Ain't nobody listened to that celibate thing, bro. Sam saw one woman and was like, neuron activation. Okay? John got with a fine redheaded woman, and brother, it was like that. And here's the truth, okay? If I'm looking at all of that, the truth is, man, the job's not that bad. In comparison to some of the stuff on here, the worst part about it is that all the stuff they have to agree to. But if you just made it where it was something that like, hey, if you live in the North and you're a guy at the age of 18, we're going to send you there for 2 years. And then when you're done, you're done. You can choose to stay, and that can be like a legitimate job. That's another thing, bro. Who would voluntarily go here outside of Jon Snow because he's an edgelord that suffers from main character syndrome? Like, I know books. The books probably explain this way better. But, like, why don't they just make it, like, completely and utterly, like, you have to do it, and then you're done? I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping, bro. But, like, in reality, like, what's so bad about the conditions? Oh, well, it's cold, brother. I live in Michigan. I can survive that for a little bit. Oh, well, all there is dudes up there. Brother, most of y'all weren't getting accident to begin with. Continue on. Well, I mean, like, you might get got by, like, wildlings. Bro, I'm sorry, in comparison to some of the other stuff on here, it's not that bad of a job. Like, the actual job, dude, I'll do 2 weeks easy. 2 weeks? That's it? Bro, I get lodging, I get food, I probably gonna make some friends. Bro, 2 weeks, easy. An Exorcist from the world of JJK. Now, this one seems very, very fun until you think about it just a little bit longer. Unless you have just a completely overpowered cursed ability, like, you're not Gojo, little bro. Like, you're not even Yuji Itadori. And then they'll be like, well, I'll be like Yuta. Brother, that's how I know y'all ain't surviving this, because the character that you're going to pick to be is arguably top 3 in the entire verse, that being Yuta Okotsu. Okay? Brother, you're gonna get this curse technique that, like, you could use one time. And like that's the truth, bro. Like, this job is so hilariously dangerous that, like, the Shibuya incident was just seen as like, bro, yeah, that Shibuya incident where, like, an entire city got literally vaporized by razor blades. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Brother, That is how bad your job is, that's considered just pretty bad. Odds are, bro, you're probably 16 facing basically a demon. And then that demon has the power to literally reshape how your soul is. Dude, I'm sorry. Y'all are getting got by my Hito, and it's like, well, other curses, though. It's like, dude, even Jogo. I understand Jogo got absolutely packed up by Sukuna and Gojo, but Jogo decimated everybody else. There comes a point where it's like, no, Jujutsu sorcerers are so underpowered, by average, that, the higher-ups are the thing that we rate. You're not Yuji Itadori, little bro. And even Yuji was getting his shit packed in for the majority of it. Brother, he got saved by Todo because Mahito was absolutely destroying him. Brother, most of y'all expect that you're going to be like Yuji Itadori. You're, at best, going to be Megami. You have potential, you just can't do anything for it. Or, most likely, some no-name guy that gets turned into an Aura Farm Session. Brother, if I'm an exerciser, I'll be real here, dog. I give it 1 week before I get got by, a grade 2. A grade 3, honestly, cursed spirit. That's gonna come in, pack me up, and turn me into human origami and a stain on the wall, bro. I'm done. Helldiver! Okay, and before you hit me with the, oh, well, technically they're clones. No. That is one thing. When, people get so in the Helldivers, they'll, miss some of the stuff, when it's every time you go out on a mission, it's not that they cloned you and they sent somebody just like you, is that there's so many Helldivers fighting in this conflict that you are so replaceable, you just view yourself as the same person. So I want you to look at it through that point of view. Imagine how many times that you have left the lobby in Helldivers 2. That is how quickly that you would probably get got. And that's assuming that you are just as physically capable as your Helldiver. Brother, name it. You might get flamethrowed, you might get hit with mortar fire, you might get actually deleted by an automaton. Don't get me started with the Illuminate, and they can turn you into a zombie husk of a thing. Or you can get digested alive by a Bile Titan. Brother, the amount of things that you have to go through if you are a part of the Helldiver universe. Dog, it would, I heard that they're trying to make a Helldiver movie, and this is what I think you should do. I think you should do a Helldiver movie. Cast, some big characters to be in it, some big name actors, and then get rid of them in the first 5 minutes, and then have the other main characters have their helmets on the entire time. That would be the way to do it, bro, because nobody's surviving this. If I am a Helldiver, bro, I'm getting packed up in literally an instant, no question. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Guard. Listen, I could be I'll do it for 1 week and then I'll be good. Let me tell you something, bro. I have never, ever in my life beat Five Nights at Freddy's. Never. I would either get too scared as a kid trying to play it, or I would just get frustrated. And that's honestly, my best bet, honestly, dude, I would do, 1 sift. I would do 1 sift at Five Nights at Freddy's. I know somebody's going to come in being well, lore-wise, this is why. And I'm over here dog, I'm here for a paycheck. And when the animatronic things start walking up on me like Diddy Diddler, trying to touch me up so I have to start putting the doors down, brother, I know I'm cooked, okay? I'm going to do the first night, and I might do the second night. I'm not making it past the first week, dude. I have never been able to beat the game. There is no chance that I'm going to be able to beat it in real life. I'm probably going to be there, going to be okay, you're going to play on this phone. I was wait, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's how it's going to end. That is how it's going to end, dude. I'm cooked, okay? Any of y'all think that you can beat it? Probably not. I'm putting it 1 sift, and then I'm done. Well, Jujutsu Sorcerer, I would be able to survive a little bit longer because it would at least take a minute for me to do a 1v1, and then I would get got. The Boys PR team. Dude, most of the danger is literally just from Homelander. Yeah, the deep is bad, but the truth is, bro, it's you're being a PR team, and it's that's already a bad job because you have to rely on another person to not make your job difficult. And in my experience, they're always going to try to make your job difficult. But brother, being Homelander's PR person, dude, Ashley is not is a bad person. I feel so bad for Ashley because that has to be literally the most not guilt tripping. Maybe it is guilt tripping if you have some morals, you'd feel bad. But literally the most stressful job that there's ever been, that at any given moment your person can just be okay, laser eye, gone, just gone immediately after that. Brother, I'd start taking out my hair too. I'd start ripping out that puppy, dude. I would start taking out all of my hairs at that point. Now, how long would I do it for? It depends what superhero I was given. If I was given the Deep, and I'm not a big fan of the Deep, like, at all, I would be able to, like, be able to make the Deep, like, survive. A-Train would be pretty easy. Black Noir would be pretty easy. It really would just be Homelander. So I'm gonna be real here, dog. I think I'd be able to do a solid 2 weeks. I think I could do 2 weeks as a boys PR team. Yeah, I think 2 weeks is that's a fair claim. A cop in Raccoon City. Okay, maybe this is a hot take here. I absolutely have zero fear of how I would deal with, like, the average zombie in Resident Evil. I have no fear of that, brother. They're slow, they're clunky, they look dumb. Like, they're talking about how, like, bang, 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 they're durable. And it's like, I'm not denying that they're durable. All I'm saying is I'm not going to test that durability. I'm just going to, sidestep out of here, bro. I'm just going to be like Jill Valentine and just do a bob and weave. However, you start introducing the liquors, bro. You introduce a liquor, or like God forbid, the Nemesis. Brother, I'm getting absolutely thundercunted into that wall. I am getting suplexed into the cement so hard. Bro, I was raging out hard playing Resident Evil 3 because I would try to get away from Nemesis on like a sliver of health, and then out of nowhere he would teleport right in front of me and then literally hit a Superman punch on my forehead. Brother, I feel like that guy that got like flying knees so hard he had an indent in his forehead, dude. That would be me as a cop. Now, I will be real here though. I would probably be able to last longer than you think. I'll just be real here. I like my abilities of lasting during a Raccoon City zombie apocalypse. And the truth is, man, as long as I'm not dealing with, like, Mr. X, as long as I'm not dealing with Nemesis, or even, like, a liquor, I'm going to be real here, dog. I'm going to put this in 1 week. I think 1 week survival is more than fair. I think 1 week I'd be able to make it. A UAC Scientist. Okay, for the sake of this hypothetical. Imagine you are a scientist at a government organization called the UAC. And your job is to invent teleportation, and you do it on Mars. Okay, so you do all that. You make a working teleportation machine. Absolutely dope. And then you find out it's actually just teleportation from Warhammer, and you're actually going through hell to get there, which is basically just the warp. And then it opens up, demons start coming in, and then it absolutely eviscerates everybody. And then you go to report it to your superiors, and then you find out they're either archangels or actual devil worshippers. And the Archangel is allowing the demons to come in because he has a secret deal going on with the demons. And all of this is you're going into hell to retrieve a government asset, which is called the Doomslayer. And you're probably just not going to make it, dude. Brother, the demons are allowing you to get the sarcophagus of the Doomslayer out of hell because they're hoping that Doomslayer doesn't wake up. On the absolute best case scenario, the Doomslayer wakes up and he's able to defend you. But then he looks at you all disappointed because you're a part of an organization that opened up a literal portal into hell. I'm gonna be truthful here, dog. This is I'm working one shift, and then the moment they start talking about open up hell portals and pentagrams on the wall, I'm good. And I'm gonna be real here. The benefits cannot be that good. I'm literally on Mars. It cannot get any worse than that. One shift. Stormtroopers. Okay. Now, this is where it gets interesting here. And I know I've talked about them quite a bit. But, like, my biggest gripe with, like, the Empire in Star Wars is, like, we see how good the Jedi Republic is, and they talk about, like, the bad aspects of them. We never get to talk about, like, the pros of the Empire. And I'm sure there was some pros to the Empire. And I would like to see that more in, like, a movie set, like from the POV of, like, Stormtroopers. I think that'd be kind of a cool concept. We know Han Solo was able to survive his time within the Empire serving as a Stormtrooper. But we also know that it's absolutely awful. But we also know that they're also very effective because they've been able to effectively, like rule the galaxy for a measurable amount of time. But then here comes the problem, bro. It can't be that comfortable. That suit cannot be that comfortable. The benefits cannot be that good. Like, in truth, they just cannot be that good. And I'm going to be real here, dog. I think the bar to entry is really bad because their aiming is so dog shit that they can't hit something that is literally right in front of them. They've been training their entire life to hit people-safe targets, and they just cannot perform when they need to. I know there's like a lore implication that the Force can kind of protect you, and that would kind of make sense where Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Leia were able to survive. But at the same time, dog, the job just cannot be that good. However, is it as bad as being a Helldiver? Absolutely not. I'll be real here, dude. Like, it depends. Am I stationed on the Death Star? On the Death Star, like, it seems like a pretty cool place to live until, you know, it gets absolutely blown up by Luke Skywalker. And we gloss over just how, like, crazy of an event that was within Star Wars. And even Star Wars kind of glosses over it. They just build another one. You could be a cook in the Empire, though. Like logically speaking, you could have a pretty normal... You know what? I'll do a week as a Stormtrooper. Yeah, I can do a week as a Stormtrooper. I think that... Yeah, a week as a Stormtrooper, that's valid. I was going to put it higher, but honestly, like, I could have a bunch of different jobs. I'm going to put it 1 week. The Scouts Regiment from Attack on Titan. Dog, I'm sorry. This is... I understand the entirety of Attack on Titan kind of gets, like, looked through a point of view of, like, oh, here's our main characters and look how successful they were. I want you to realize that, like, the success that they had in the series, in the time that we were watching it, was the most success they have ever had, to the point that it was unheard of. Most of the time, if you were part of the scouting regiment, you just were, like, content with no longer being here. Like, they would, like, if anybody, like, signed up for the scouts, like, being the scouts was considered the absolute worst thing that you could try to be. People would actively try to take other jobs. That tells me that, like, the survival, like, portion is just not it. You are probably just going to get eaten by a giant person. And if I'm looking at all of that, if I look at, like, brother, Aaron got in his very first mission and was literally saved by just sheer plot armor. That is most people. Most people are getting absolutely eaten like that. And here's the truth, dude. I'm going to last 1 hour. 1 hour before I get eaten. 1 hour and then done. 1 hour, done, bro. No question. A Witzer from the Witzer series. Okay, I get given up as a child to a group of basically monster hunting witches, and then they experiment on you and mutate you into a monster hunter that pigments your eyes and makes you sterile. Okay, and then most of the time people don't even get through those initial Witzer trials. But let's say you finally do get to the Witzer trials, you're going to be suffering from mutations because they kind of just try stuff on you, and you're seen as an abomination of people because whenever you're around, that means bad things are here because you're the person that has to get rid of the bad things. And that's another thing, bro. The hatred of the Witzers is so weird to me because it's kind of like, I get it to a certain degree. But then there's another part where it's like, brother, the Witzers are literally just here to get a bag. And I get it, that can be annoying. But at the same time, bro, do you want to fight the actual demonic monster over there? Do you want to fight with Skinwalker, the vampire, the griffin over there? No? Okay. Pay me and I'll handle the business, bro. That would be me as a Witzer, bro. And here's the truth. It also kind of gives you aura, though. It does make you look pretty good. Like, clearly, like, Geralt is raking it in right now. Maybe there's a little bit of some despair if you make me a Witzer. Maybe in that scenario, I can actually do something. However, bro, it feels like it's a whole lot of nothing. That's another thing that it feels like. It feels like being a Witzer is basically just a big gig, and like every once in a while you'll find something to do, but you basically have superpowers. I'm going to be real here, dog. I can do 2 weeks. I'll do 2 weeks as a Witzer. That's not as bad in comparison to some other ones on here. Working for Vault-Tec. Now, this can range heavily. You could be a higher up at Vault-Tec and literally be like one of the few people that get to survive the entirety of the nuclear apocalypse. Or you could be somebody that's meant to be experimented on, and guess what? Vault-Tec. So the range of it is literally hell on earth to you survive hell on earth. The range is pretty heavy here. However, if I'm going to take the average of those, bro, I will find out very quickly whether they're trying to get rid of me or they're trying to keep me. And I'll find out in the first shift. If I stroll into my vault and I find out that the experiment was 1 dude, 100 women, then they probably like me. But if I stroll into another one where it's 1 man, 3 death claws, I'm probably cooked. Some of y'all got really happy. I've seen your hear me outs. Stop saying the death claw. You guys have problems, okay? The truth is, man, is that the range is so heavy that I will just find out on day 1 whether I'm cooked or whether this is going to be a pretty decent life. I think one sift, yeah, that's all I need. SCP D-Class. I was going to do SCP Scientist, but like, really, that's like a more edgy, like, it's like an edgier cryptozoology, like, basically scientist. Now, for looking at D-Class, you are inherently disposable. You are meant to be gotten. You are meant to be like, hey, let's run another experiment. We're going to be giving D-Class to the literal monster that can consume your soul. And when every time it consumes your soul, it literally, like, takes you out of the memory of everybody. And, yeah. Or you could be a D-Class that gets to visit the tickle monster, and then he gives you positive vibes, and you legitimately try to be a better person. Or you could be a D-Class that gets sent into a pocket dimension that's meant to be an infinite IKEA. Yes, that is literally the reins of being an SCP D-Class, bro. It's like, but like the reins is like very much in favor of bad. Like the truth is, dude, okay? I think if I'm an SCP D-Class, they're trying to get rid of me quick. I think it's either an hour and then, or it's just straight up instantaneous. That's how I view it, bro. I think it's 1 hour and then I'm done. Easily 1 hour. A villager from Minecraft. Yes, their whole purpose is to give me mending, and if they don't, I am going to absolutely destroy them. The truth is, bro, is if you're the villager that I keep alive just so you have that one item that I just want to keep having, brother, I treat you like a king, bro. You're guarded by iron golems, bro. Like you have like actual like the greatest like you have the greatest room there is, bro. And I'll even give you like other villagers so you can breed, so we can keep the bloodline going. But if you are a villager that's clearly trying to rip me off, I just want to let you know, bro, there is no punishment that could be issued to you that is more harsh than the one that I'm going to issue to you. Brother, okay, I'm going to, like, construct an elaborate machine just to figure out new ways to cause you problems, bro. If you are a villager that I feel like is legitimately trying to scam me, dog, I'm going to do you so dirty. And here's the truth, dog. I like to believe that if I was a villager, I would try to be a little bit more useful. Even if it's just giving you bread, I'll do that. If I'm just a farmer, I think that might be me. I'm not going to be one of these villagers that's like, hey, give me 5 diamonds, I'll give you an iron pickaxe. If it's something like that, dog, I'm closing my eyes. I'm accepting my fate that I am going to get yeeted off this plane of reality in the most horrific way possible. The truth is, dude, it's a peaceful life, but I'm aware it's a 2-week phase, and then my entire world gets deleted before my very eyes. I'll do 2 weeks. I think that's a fair take. Jurassic Park security team. This is my problem with Jurassic Park. I'm aware that there were other stuff that happened, but, like, why is it that, like, in Jurassic Park, a place that's literally was made with billions to trillions of dollars, okay? And they were able to literally resurrect dinosaurs. And the thing that's gonna make the money is fucking lunchboxes, by the way. That's the funniest part, that they're like, hey, I know we played God to bring back the dinosaurs and the T-Rexes, but guess what? We're gonna sell a lot of lunchboxes and merch. Brother, I'm sorry. That's unironically what I think. Dude, no lie, that's what I think Mr. Beast is gonna do. If there is a guy that will bring back dinosaurs, literally play God on this planet, just to make some money, it would be Mr. Beast. It would be him that would start Jurassic Park. But that's not the only thing that bothers me. The other thing that bothers me is that, what do you mean you built this $1 trillion compound and it can get taken out by a typhoon? What do you mean this place that holds the last bastion of Jurassic life, okay, in tropical climate, is susceptible to tropical climate? Oh, well, I mean, Jurassic Park 1, this happened. There's no fail-safes in play. Like, there's no, like, safeguards in play that, like, even if somebody does try to turn this off, we're going to do this, and this, just so it doesn't. Like, it's actually kind of insane how poorly put together Jurassic Park was. And if I'm a security guard, dude, here's the truth. I think I'm surviving quite a bit. I think it'd be a pretty dope job. Like, you get to live on, like, this actual tropical island. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prepare for the tropical island. The truth is, man, that's not that bad of a life. It just isn't, bro. I think I could do... The only thing that would kind of bother me is, of course, the storms, but also the mosquitoes if they got too bad. But, like, I'll be real here. I'm going to put this one in 1 week. I think I'm going to make it 1 week as a Jurassic Park, like, security officer. I really do believe I'm going to survive that. Like, yeah, worst case scenario, you get eaten by dinosaurs. But, like, brother, at least you get a paid vacation. You live on vacation. That's like becoming part of the cast and crew of Survivor. Yeah, bro. Boo-hoo. You get to work on an island. My lobster too buttery. My steak too juicy type of problems over here, dude. 1 week, though. An Imperial Guardsman. I did a servitor a while back, and you guys were kind of pointed out that being a servitor isn't actually a job. And if it is, that is the worst one, because essentially what they do is they erase any remnants of who you were as a person and basically use you as a walking around version of ChatGPT. If you are an Imperial Guardsman, there are literally trillions of you going on conflicts, and you are described as basically the backbone of the Imperium of Man. And you are so replaceable that Imperial Guardsmen don't even really have names. They're just more like, hey, send 40,000 against them. That way we can have a breathing room. Like, that's the reality of being a guardsman, bro. Like, the biggest battles that have ever occurred in the entirety of history are just like a calm Monday to them in the Imperium of Man as a guardsman. Like, the amount of things that could happen to you, dog. You can get taken out by the Dark Eldar and turned into a flesh chair for the rest of your life. You can get taken by Chaos Marines. You can get your biomass converted into weapons by the Tyranids. You can get, like, you can witness Grey Knights, and then they have to immediately get rid of all of you. Because guess what? You cannot see Grey Knights. You could have your planet blown up like Cadia. Bro, like, the amount of things that could happen to you. And, like I might actually make a video of, like, all of the worst ways to go in the 40K universe. Brother, 90% of those belong to the Imperial Guardsmen. The truth is, dog, is I actually think I'm getting got quicker than a Helldiver. Like, no joke, bro. At least Helldivers have a little bit of plot armor. Like, if you are a 40K, if you're a guardsman in the 40K, it is literally needed for you to lose at least 100,000 men. Instantaneous death, no question. And there you go. Those are how long I would survive in the worst jobs in fiction. If you enjoyed this video, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 300,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That is the goal. And I think we're going to be able to hit it, but we're only going to be able to hit it with the support of you guys. And with all that out of the way, honestly, this was a good video to rant about. I just wanted to rant about some worst jobs. I want to bring back the history stuff after this. But I was kind of in like a gaming arc where I wanted to talk about gaming stuff. We have a lot of new games coming out. I'm working on a Saturday upload. We got some new stuff releasing on Thursday. I'm just doing a lot of batch recording, and I'm feeling really, really good right about now, okay? Again, hit the bell icon to stay notified for those uploads when they do come out. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.